She was barefoot, standing in the rain. A little black girl holding a broken umbrella. When she saw a boy crying on the corner, clutching a teddy bear and whispering, "I can't find my way home." Most people just walked past, but she didn't. What she did next would lead her to the gates of a billionaire's mansion, and a truth that would change both of their lives forever. If you're part of the Black Visionaries family, hit that like button right now, because this story will remind you why kindness is the most powerful currency on Earth. The evening sky was painted gray, clouds rolling heavy above the city. The streets smelled like rain and old asphalt. Little Ava Brown, an 8-year-old black girl with soft curls and worn-out shoes, stood near her grandmother's flower cart. The sign said Ruth's Roses. The flowers were fading, but her smile never did. Ava lived with her grandma, Miss Ruth, in a small one-room apartment behind the shop. Every morning before school, she'd help her grandma pick the freshest flowers, wrap them in paper, and sell them on the corner. They didn't have much, but they had each other, and that was enough. That afternoon, the rain began to fall harder. People hurried past with umbrellas, car horns echoing through the wet streets. Ava pulled her tiny pink umbrella closer, humming softly to herself. Then she saw him, a little boy, about 6, standing under a streetlight. He was wearing an expensive blue jacket that didn't match the muddy street around him. His blonde hair was wet, and his small hands gripped a teddy bear so tight it looked like he was afraid to let go. Ava walked closer, her voice soft. "Hey, are you lost?" The boy looked up, eyes red and full of fear. I can't find my way home," he said. "Our driver left. I waited, but he didn't come back." Ava frowned. "Where's your mom or dad?" "I don't know," he whispered. "I think my dad's working. He always is." Ava felt something twist in her chest. She remembered the nights she missed her mom too, a woman who had passed away when she was just 5. Without thinking, Ava held out her umbrella. "Come on, let's go find your house." The boy hesitated. "You don't even know me." She smiled. "That's okay. Grandma says good people don't need a reason to help." And just like that, the two children began walking through the rain. They asked shopkeepers, bus drivers, and strangers, but no one recognized the boy. The rain soaked through their clothes. Their shoes squished in puddles, and the sky grew darker. Ava gave him half her peanut butter sandwich, even though it was all she had for lunch. She made him laugh by pretending to talk to his teddy bear. "What's his name?" she asked. "Captain Bear," the boy said shyly. "Well, Captain Bear," Ava replied seriously, "you're in charge of keeping us brave until we get home." They laughed together. Two kids from different worlds, walking the same wet street like old friends. After almost 2 hours, Ava realized they weren't getting anywhere. She looked around. Most shops were closing. The rain wasn't stopping. So she took his hand. "Come on, we'll go to Grandma's shop. It's warm there." When they reached Ruth's Roses, Miss Ruth gasped. "Lord have mercy, child. You're soaked." "This is Ethan," Ava said quickly. "He's lost." Miss Ruth's expression softened instantly. She brought out a towel, wrapped Ethan in it, and handed them both mugs of warm cocoa. The tiny shop smelled like roses and hope. "I'll call the police," Miss Ruth said, dialing with shaking fingers. "We'll let them know we found him safe." While she spoke, Ethan looked around. "It's so small here," he said softly, "but it feels happy." Ava smiled. "It's not big, but it's home." Moments later, a police car stopped outside, flashing blue lights on the wet street. Then came another car, long, black, and shiny. Its doors swung open, and a tall man in a suit stepped out, his eyes wild with fear. "Ethan!" he shouted, his voice cracking. "Daddy!" The boy ran straight into his arms. The man knelt, hugging him so tight the world seemed to freeze. Rain dripped from his hair, his expensive shoes sinking into the mud. He didn't care. Miss Ruth and Ava watched quietly from the shop doorway. The man stood and looked at them, chest still heaving. "You found him?" Miss Ruth nodded. "This little girl did." He looked down at Ava, this tiny figure in wet clothes, clutching a half-broken umbrella. "You helped my son?" Ava nodded shyly. He was scared. He knelt down. "Do you know who I am?" She shook her head. "My name's Marcus Hale," he said. I own Hale Industries." Ava blinked. Oh, she didn't know what that meant. Marcus smiled faintly through tears. "You don't understand what you did. My son's been missing for 5 hours. The police were searching the whole city. You found him." Ava looked up, her small voice calm. He just needed someone to stay with him. That single line hit him like lightning. The man who owned skyscrapers, hotels, and luxury cars stood frozen, realizing something no amount of money had taught him. Kindness costs nothing. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a card, and handed it to Miss Ruth. If you ever need anything, anything at all, call me. The next morning, the story spread through the neighborhood. The little flower girl who helped a billionaire's son. But Ava didn't care about fame. She cared about seeing Ethan smile again. A few days later, a van arrived at their shop. Men carried in boxes, new shelves, new flowers, a brand new sign reading Ruth and Ava's Blossoms, sponsored by Hale Foundation. Miss Ruth couldn't hold back her tears. Child, what did you do? Ava just smiled. I think I made a friend. That evening, Marcus came himself. No guards, no cameras, just him, holding Ethan's hand and a bouquet of fresh white lilies. He sat in the same creaky chair Miss Ruth always used. I wanted to thank you again, he said quietly. You didn't just help my boy, you reminded me of something I forgot long ago. Ava tilted her head. What's that? That people can still be good. He looked around the tiny shop, cracked walls, the scent of rain-wet petals, and smiled. Would you mind if I visit sometimes? Miss Ruth laughed softly. You don't need to ask, son. Our door is open. Months passed. Marcus became a regular visitor. He dropped by every weekend, sometimes bringing new flower seeds for Ava, sometimes just sitting with Miss Ruth for tea. One Sunday, he invited them to his mansion. Ava had never seen anything like it. Golden chandeliers, marble floors, walls taller than her whole house. But what amazed her most wasn't the mansion. It was how happy Ethan was when he saw her. He ran to her, laughing. Ava, come see my room. She followed him through endless hallways, smiling at every painting and glowing light. For the first time, Marcus saw his son laughing freely again, and he knew exactly who to thank. At dinner, Marcus raised a glass of water. To the girl who taught my son what friendship means, he said softly. Ava blushed. To friends who stay, she said back, smiling. From that night onward, their lives intertwined. Marcus paid for Ava's education, rebuilt their shop, and even started a charity in her grandmother's name, the Ruth Foundation for Children in Need. But the greatest gift wasn't money or fame or even the new life he gave them. It was the bond, the reminder that love and kindness can build bridges between worlds that never should have met. Years later, when Ava became a young woman, she kept that same pink umbrella on her shelf. Torn, faded, and bent, but still special. Because it was the umbrella she shared with a lost boy one rainy day. The umbrella that led her to a billionaire's doorstep. The umbrella that changed two lives forever. And every time it rained, she'd look out the window, smile softly, and whisper to herself, Grandma was right. Helping someone doesn't make you smaller. It makes your heart grow. Then, in the distance, thunder rolled, and somewhere, a man looked out from his mansion window, whispering his own quiet prayer of thanks for the little girl who once stopped in the rain and taught him what being rich really meant.